There was once a young artist named Elara who lived in a small cottage at the edge of a great whispering forest. She dreamed of creating a masterpiece, a painting so full of light and life that it would touch the soul of everyone who saw it. She called this dream the Sunlit Grove. For weeks, Elara waited for the right moment to begin. She believed that a true artist needed profound inspiration, a bolt of lightning from the sky, a surge of undeniable feeling that would guide her hand. Some days, when the sun cast long golden shadows through the trees, she would feel a flicker of excitement. "This is it," she would whisper. "The inspiration is here." But by the time she had set up her easel and mixed her paints, the light had shifted. The feeling had faded, and the canvas remained blank. Her motivation, like the weather, was unpredictable. On cloudy days, or when she felt tired, she did nothing at all, waiting for a spark that rarely came. Her studio became a gallery of her frustration. Half-finished sketches, tubes of paint, squeezed dry in a moment of passion, and a single, lonely canvas that held only the ghost of an idea. The more she waited for motivation, the more distant her dream felt. A quiet anxiety began to grow within her. What if the inspiration never came? What if her great work remained forever trapped inside her, unseen and unrealized? One afternoon, burdened by this restlessness, Elara went for a walk deep into the forest. There, she met an old potter, Kale, who lived by a steady, flowing stream. His hands, covered in dried clay, were constantly moving, shaping the wet earth on his wheel. Elara noticed that he worked every single day, whether the sun was shining or the rain was falling, whether he seemed joyful or pensive. Master Kale, Elara asked, "How do you know when to create? How do you summon the inspiration to make something beautiful every day?" Kale didn't look up from his wheel, which hummed with a quiet, constant rhythm. "Inspiration," he said, his voice as steady as his hands. "I don't wait for her. She is a fickle friend who visits often but never stays long. I cannot build my life on her visits." "Then what is the secret?" Elara pleaded, her voice full of despair. Kale finally stopped his wheel and looked at her, his eyes kind and knowing. He pointed to a large oak tree nearby. "Do you see that tree? It does not wait for the perfect day to grow. It does not grow in great sudden leaps. It adds just one small ring each and every year, whether it feels like it or not. That is the secret. Discipline is the bridge between a dream and reality. It is the power of daily action, not the spark of motivation, that builds a life." He gestured to the stream. "Motivation is like this current, it ebbs and flows. But discipline is the riverbed that holds it, gives it direction, and allows it to carve canyons over time. Small habits lead to big changes. You must show up for your craft, even on the days you feel nothing." The truth of his words settled over Elara like a gentle rain. She had been waiting for a hurricane of feeling, while Kale spoke of the quiet power of the soil. The very next day, Elara returned to her studio. The sky was gray, and she felt no magical urge to paint, but she remembered the potter's words. She laid out her brushes, she prepared a fresh canvas, and she made a promise to herself. She would put just 3 strokes of paint on the canvas every single day. No more, no less. Some days, those 3 strokes felt clumsy and meaningless. Other days, they would turn into 30 as the power of daily action took over. But she never broke her promise. She was building her riverbed. Weeks turned into months. She stopped looking for the grand inspiration and instead focused on the consistent effort. She painted the texture of the bark on a cloudy day, the shade of green in the rain, the way the mist clung to the branches. Small habits lead to big changes. Stroke by stroke, day by day, the forest began to appear on her canvas. It was not born from a single burst of passion, but from the quiet, cumulative power of consistency. One morning, Elara stepped back from her easel. There it was, the sunlit grove, but it was more beautiful and more alive than she had ever imagined it in her dreams. It held not just the memory of sunny days, but the truth of the cloudy ones, the rainy ones, and the quiet ones. It held every day she had shown up. She had not found motivation. She had built something stronger, a discipline-driven life. Elara finally understood. Motivation is the match that strikes a flame, bright and exciting. But discipline is the hearth that keeps the fire burning through the long, cold night, providing warmth and light long after the initial spark has faded. If you focus only on motivation, you will only create when conditions are perfect. But if you build discipline, you create the conditions for greatness, one small, consistent step at a time. You stop waiting for the wind to fill your sails, and you instead learn to row, steadily and surely, toward your horizon. If you liked this story, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Thank you for staying with us. See you in the next story with new thoughts and new lessons. Until then, stay well and stay peaceful.